campers, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. So, as I said in a few previous episodes, like The Legend of Everfree and a couple Buttercup episodes from Sofia the First, I really miss the good old summer days when I used to go camping with my friends from the Boy Scouts of America, Troop 604. And while it was pretty tough when it came to earning merit badges, getting my Eagle Scout rank, and earning my Arrow of Light, which still has not been hung up on my wall since I moved here, the things that I really liked while camping was doing all sorts of fun activities like hiking, rock climbing, campfires, and more. And on the topic of camping, for today's blog, we're going to look at an episode where Princess Sofia and her siblings go to a summer camp together. Airing on television on October 28th, 2016, this is Camp Wilderwood. Now let's get started, campers. In this episode, King Roland and Queen Miranda have sent their children to Camp Wilderwood, and while their daughter, Sofia, is having a great time, her siblings, Amber and James, aren't having any luck. Amber is not happy that nobody knows who she is, and she has no idea how to make friends for herself, and James is caught standing and itching ivy, and nobody wants to be around him. On top of all this, the trio reunites with Wendell, who's been sent to this camp as punishment for his mischievous actions. So, what do I personally think of this episode? Well, to me, this episode was pretty good, and it really makes me miss summer campouts these days. And to further explain why I like this episode, let's head over to Mustang Notes. Now, believe it or not, this episode has 3 morals. 1, don't let yourself down when you're out of the group. 2, everybody likes a spirited person because practice makes perfection. And 3, when you change your ways, it makes you a better person who prevents naughty actions. And to me, these are all lessons that I can relate to, especially during my Boy Scout age. As for the animation, well, as usual, the CGI animation by Toei is great. And in my opinion, Camp Wilderwood looks like a really fun campout, and it really reminds me of the many summer campouts that I went on during my boyhood up until summer 2008. Also, while there are over 50 enchanted activities and over 500 species of enchanted plants and animals, there's also itching ivy there too. Yikes. Anyway, the activities of the camp include enchanted arts and crafts, enchanted wall climbing, and the annual flag race. Plus, it should be noted that King Roland II went to Camp Wilderwood when he was a young boy. However, while there, Roland wasn't sure about it either, but he ended up having a great time anyway. Also, I must mention that, like the Tale of the Noble Knight, Beauty is the Beast, and the Bamboo Kite, this episode chronologically takes place after Sofia freed Princess Elena from her amulet. And this episode marks the first time since the Flying Crown where we'd see Squires, Vaughn, and Vance, who are both attending the Junior Knight Summer Camp, and they built a wooden submarine to compete in the Intercamp Island Race. Now let's talk about the episode's song, The Summer Camp Blues, which is sung by Prince James, who laments how he is not having a good time at Camp Wilderwood and how he wants to go home. What I like about this song is the use of simplistic 2D animation while James is writing to his parents, and I like the bits involving the chorus. Plus, while it is nice that James finally has a solo song in the show, I kind of feel bad for what he's going through. And while listening to it, I kind of get the feeling that this is the kind of song that Charlie Brown and the Peanuts would sing at camp. in a way. Anyway, that's all I got for Mustang notes. So let's move on to the characters and their voice actors. Princess Sofia is once again voiced by Ariel Winter, whom was young Kairi in the Kingdom Hearts game series, Marina in Jake and the Neverland Pirates, a few of Thumper's sisters in Bambi 2, Marlene in the complete version of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, young Trixie in Speed Racer, Penny Peterson in DreamWorks Mr. Peabody and Sherman, and Smurf Lily in Smurfs The Lost Village. In my eyes, Sofia is a sweet and compassionate young princess, and during this episode, while she's having a fun time at camp and she's making friends pretty easily, at the same time, I like that she's trying her best to help her siblings have a great time too. Plus, is it just me, or is the scene where Sofia is talking to a volleyball seem like a possible reference to the 2000 movie Castaway? Our main character, Prince James, is voiced by Nicholas Cantu, whom is known online as Junkie Janker, and he got to voice as Curly in Hey Arnold the Jungle Movie, and just recently, Leonardo in the new animated Ninja Turtles movie. Now, this is the first episode since King for a Day where James is a lead character, and I think for his first time voicing him, Nicholas Cantu does a pretty good job. In this episode, while he actually wanted to go to flying carpet camp with his best friend Xandar, James at first thought that Camp Wilderwood seemed okay, but after standing in a piece of itching ivy, his experience has been going really rough due to the other campers avoiding him, his enchanted silk weaver getting his arms tied up, and he gets itchy while rock climbing. Plus, I didn't really like when he rebuffs and pushes Sofia away when she tries to help and comfort him. But thankfully, I like that James was having fun building a boat and making a friend with Wendell, and the scenes where he saves his sisters when their boat runs aground was a very noble moment. Next is Sofia and James' sister, Princess Amber, voiced by Darcy Rose Byrnes, whom was in The Legend of Korra, Spirit Riding Free, Desperate Housewives, and Big Shot. During this episode, Amber is also having trouble making friends due to nobody recognizing her, since she's supposed to be the most popular princess at Royal Prep. She laments on how easy it is for Sofia to make friends, and she'd rather stay home and look for meteor showers with her telescope. But thankfully, I'm glad that Amber was able to buddy up and make friends with Mandy for the inter-camp competition thanks to Sofia's suggestion. Next we have Wendell Herman Fidget III, voiced again by Ilan Galkov. The last time we saw this bratty little wizard from Tengu, he used his enchanted hypnotic lute to steal many flying horses, including Minimus, and lured them to the Hanging Gardens. But after Sofia, her siblings, and the Castle Griffins broke said lute, his mother grounded him for his atrocious behavior and took away all of his magical items. However, sometime later, Wendell created a flying pig monster and conquered a small, out-of-the-way kingdom, which made his parents put their foot down and ship him off to Camp Wilderwood to learn to have fun with magic without doing anything bad or causing trouble. During his time at camp, Wendell despises the whole experience, and he's desperate to go home. Finding out that James feels the same way, they buddy up and create a boat that will help them sail home during the big inter-camp water race. After stealing the camp flag and taking the lead, he urges James to continue sailing on home, but James decides to help his sisters after their boat hits a rock and was sinking, and after winning the race and returning to shore, Wendell admits that camp is not that bad as he thought, and he reforms. Our next character is Sofia's new friend, Mandy, voiced by Madeline Curry, whom was a few minor voices in Zootopia. To me, Mandy seems like a cute, sweet, and friendly little girl, and I like that she makes fast friends with Sofia and later Amber. Plus, I'm surprised that Mandy has the exact same hairstyle as Princess Elena's sister, Isabel. Finally, we come to Camp Wilderwood's fairy counselors, Marty and Maple, voiced by Greg Sipes and Sarah Mitchell. These two fairies spend the majority of the time announcing the various activities and showing and telling the campers how to do them. In my eyes, while they seem kind of like your everyday camp counselors, at the same time, they're also decent and colorful characters. Plus, they are a little bit absent-minded, like when they saw James standing in itching ivy, just when they thought they cleared out all of it from the area. Plus, I thought it was cool to hear Greg Sipes voicing in an animated TV show since Teen Titans. And believe me, this really makes up for his time in Teen Titans Go. Ugh. And now on to my final words. Overall, Camp Wilderwood was a pretty fun episode. I like that this episode mixes camping nostalgia with a moral on social interactions. Considering that Amber and James are in an environment that they're not too used to, and it's pretty understandable that they'd struggle to make friends, yet this episode never gets too mean-spirited, since we focus more on them trying to fit in rather than their failures. Plus, there's a nice mix of both calm and fast energy coming together with a moral on finding common ground with others, even in unexpected places. Plus, like I said earlier, Nicholas Cantu does a great job for his first time voicing James, just like Zach Callison and Tyler Myrna did in the past. Also, Mandy was a nice new friend character, and I like that Wendell becomes a better person in the end. And I kind of wonder how his parents will react. I mean, I think they'd be pretty proud of him. Anyway, I give this episode a 96% out of 100. Well, that's all for now, campers. Be sure to join me next time as we look at an episode where Sofia and her family go on a family vacation. Mustang Power.